they want you to know the seriousness of what you're getting involved in. So, I mean, I had this very idealistic view. Hey, I'm part of a brotherhood. I have even more of a special bond with my dad now. You know, it's something. So it was great. I was on a high that night. And you come in as a soldier. That's the official position. And then you just live your life in that life according to the rules. And were there a lot of bad guys in that life? I would have to say yes, Jillian. Guys that even I didn't want to, you know, look, I had to be around them, but you don't want to go out to dinner and associate with them. And because some of them were, there was one guy, I can just mention him, he's gone now. His name was Roy DeMeo, serial killer, no doubt. But I say this to people, he would have been a serial killer whether he was in the mob or not. He was just that kind of guy. So you have some kind, that's the exception, not the rule, but you have guys like that, you know, that are in that life. And then you have guys that, you know, they just try to play by the rules, but unfortunately, if you're called upon to do something, you got to do it.
You got to do it.
You have to do it. Well, look, you could always refuse,
and then
but then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You can't, you know, so, but you buy into the life, you know, and how do I justify things? Hey, guy broke the rules. He knows the rules. We all have our eyes open. He knows he shouldn't have done that. So if the consequences are severe, you caused this for yourself. You justify it that way. I'm not saying it's right now.
Right.
But when you're in that life, that's how you think.
You moved up real fast, though, didn't you? You were like, that was the article of like the 50 guys, and you were how old at the time?
Yeah, it was an article, Fortune magazine wrote it.
I'm sorry.
In 86, and it was the 50 biggest and wealthiest mob bosses in the country. It was like half the magazine. It was a huge article, cover story. And they featured 6 of us. I was one of the 6 of the 50 that they featured. And then they had a chart with the 50 of us on there according to rank, wealth, and power. I was number 18. I was the youngest guy on the list. And I always say it was a silly list. You know, they didn't ask for our tax returns. I don't know how they made it up, but they just did what they did. Sold a lot of magazines. But what's not silly about the list, Jillian, some 30-odd years later, 48 of those men are dead.
Right.
Number 49 is still in prison. I think he's in his 90s. I'm the only one alive and free out of that list.
What do you make of that, though? What do you make of you being the one out of the 50 that...
Well, you know, listen, when I walked away, I had a lot of trouble because it became public that I was walking away. You can't do that. Your oath is forever.
I thought so. I thought they'll you.
Well, I had a lot of rough time. And my dad turned against me for a while. Contract on my life by my boss, who I was very close with. He took it very personal when I walked away. They all thought I was going to become a major witness and start testifying against people because that's what normally happens.
Right.
But I wasn't into that. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I just wanted to get out. And so I had a lot of trouble. You know, when I was in prison, they locked me down for almost 3 years. They kept me in solitary because they said there's, you know, a contract on your life all over the street. Everybody's talking about it. So I had a lot of trouble as a result. But I also knew I didn't hurt anybody. I didn't testify against people. I didn't put people in jail. I wasn't looking to do any of that. So I knew over time, I think I could work this out. That's what I always thought. You know, Jill, I always believe that I can handle things. That's just how I am. So I said, I'll handle this too in the appropriate time. And meanwhile, I'll be careful. I know the life extremely well. I know what these guys will do. I know what they won't do. I'll move out to California, away from everybody in New York. So I had kind of a plan. But I didn't know how it was going to work out because I don't sell my former associates short. They're very capable.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And make sure to let me know what guests you want to see on in the future.